You know, there's an awful lot of paperwork involved in modern farming, and that's something that some farmers have difficulty keeping up with. Well, now, recognising the programme, there's two brothers in County Donegal, and they have come up with award-winning technology which is set to transform farm management practices. Helen Mark went along to the Lagan Valley on the shores of Lough Swilly to meet them. Now, you're the best behaved as well, aren't you? Look.
The slow plod to milking is an everyday sight. Keith Rolston's herd in the Lagan Valley, County Donegal's no exception. Neither is his use of mechanisation to milk his 450 cows. What is unusual is he uses a mobile phone during the whole process. And no, he's not playing Candy Crush. It's all about farm paperwork.
My first priority as a farmer is to look after the livestock that we have here every day. That's my first priority. Paperwork has to come second. We as farmers have got to try and use the technology to get it done and get it done right.
And the technology that has Keith so fired up takes farm record keeping to a whole new level. And it was created by Donegal brothers Jason and Gareth Devenny. One was the farmer at home, the other a software developer in London.
I came back every Christmas and always helped Gareth out in the farm where I could. I really enjoyed getting away from the city and spend some time in the countryside. And it just helped bring me back to my roots as well. So it was back in 2012, I came home for one Christmas and Gareth was sitting there in a pretty distressed state with a table full of paperwork. So I said to Gareth, there must be an easier way to do this. And he said, well, not that he was aware of.
We got on Google, started the search for farm management packages, and anything we found was either too expensive, they were too complicated. I wouldn't be very computer focused myself. So Jason, he decided to develop a simple app for myself to use.
The first version of the software, it was really just a simple little application to help Gareth get through his farm inspection. Pretty much Gareth seen the benefit straight away because he was using it out in the field, out in the tractor, in the yard. It's a simple cloud-based tool to allow farmers to actually record their information when they're in the field. And that information basically fills in all the records accurately for compliance and reporting.
Compliance regularly crops up in a farmer's vocabulary. Basically, the EU set regulations so that every aspect of farming activity can be traced and accounted for. Farm records have to show compliance with the regulations. Farmflo have come up with what seems a time-saving and a simple way to cope with that.
It is simple, and we're trying to keep it simple. All we want to do is the farmers capture his information as it happens, instead of maybe writing it down on pieces of paper and coming at night. I think it should be done as it happens, and then he doesn't have to worry about it.
There's an immense amount of information to record, everything from seed type or feed batch numbers to use of medications and fertilisers. What Farmflo records on location is then synced to the farm's computer system back at home. Job done. On Peter Killen's mixed farm in Donegal, the Farmflo app has more than proved its capabilities.
As you do the daily tasks, you can add in the things on the app on your phone, so you could be filling the sprayer and it's just a case of putting in what chemical you use, what rate, what field, and if you're doing multiple fields you can bang them all in and basically that's it. It'll not make the spud better, but it'll leave the people aware that everything's traced back to the farm. They can, the supplier, the supermarket can look and say there that field number 7, and they have a full record of what chemicals it got, what fertilizer it got, the harvest date, and they're able to see that everything's by the book. That's why it's quality assured. You see, if you didn't do all these things, you wouldn't get Board B, quality assurance, and then the suppliers wouldn't take your product. So
what started as help for the home farm soon became recognised for its potential across all sectors of agriculture.
Back in June last year, it was literally Gareth and I. We talked to an investor in London. He's seen the value in what we're doing. At this stage, with over 300 farmers using the software. But pretty quickly then, once he came on board, we raised capital, we started to grow our team, and also the product started to really take off. So pretty much the technology started to advance as we started to realise what the farmers' requirements were and how they worked the land. And pretty much that's given us a really good product now, which we're starting to see throughout the UK and Ireland.
There's now 25 staff, a new base in Letterkenny and several technology awards, not least winning an innovation award at last year's National Ploughing Championships.
I think when people think about technology companies, they often think that they have to be located in, like, say, Silicon Valley, London, Dublin, or a major city. For us, we wanted to sort of break that mould. Yes, we want to create a world-class software company, but we want to do that in rural Donegal. There's such a wealth of knowledge from young people in our area, in the Lagan Valley, who've grown up with farming, who've gone off to university and may want to come back and experience life that I'm doing now and Gareth's doing, like, you know, getting to reconnect as a family and the community again.
Meanwhile, back on the dairy farm, Keith starts a paperless trail for this new calf and mother.
Every time I go to tag this little boy here, you know, with these 2 tags, one tag is a BVD tag that has to get sent off to a laboratory for testing. The other one is for identification. That immediately starts a whole trail of paperwork, right? Now, prior to this, we've been doing this by hand, you know, manually writing the stuff down. But now with this new program, we've now been able to do this by really mobile phone, right? And it's done on the spot, and then it's uploaded to your computer. And it takes a weight off your mind, right? You know, because you know, and the knowledge that this stuff is recorded. We're open now to audit from both the creameries, from the Department of Agriculture, from the County Council, and you have to have this paperwork. It's part of the paper trail. So that's where this hopefully will help to ease my workload a little bit. You know.
While the calf may stagger to its feet, the same can't be said of Farmflo, which is improving farm compliance and the day-to-day life of the farmer.